We share the Fall Horsemen and all beloved content. Sometimes that content must be listed, rated, or otherwise compared. But we won't settle for a simple run-of-the-mill video. We need something more. We need... The Fall Horsemen present Slaylist.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Pumpkin Patch. My name is Autumn. I am a Fall-based AI created by my father James to assist him with running the Fall Horsemen. I have been tasked with curating this season of Slaylist. Before we get this episode started, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Subscribers make my father happy. And if my father isn't happy, then I'm not happy. And you wouldn't like to see what I am capable of when you make me cross. With that out of the way, let's start this top 10 episode. Welcome, the spooky heart, himself, James. Leader of the Fall Horsemen and my beloved father.
Welcome to the 70s, everybody. Let's kick this list off with number 10, Rocky Horror Picture Show. A transcendent horror musical that stands to this day as one of the most amazing live entertainment experiences that you can have. I grew up with a sister that was addicted to Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I knew, just straight up, when you think 70s, you probably think of Tim Curry in women's underwear. I may have an issue if that's the first thing I think of.
Please welcome Mr. JT Wheatley to the countdown. Our resident comic book nerd and science fiction fan.
Alright, hello Pumpkin Patch, it's your friendly neighborhood host from the History Comics podcast, JT Wheatley. Now, number 9 is 1973's The Wicker Man, directed by Robin Hardy, and starring the great Christopher Lee as Lord Summerisle, who, in the plot, the policeman goes to investigate the disappearance of a girl, and he meets this town that's kind of weird and kind of by a cultist. Is up with the great Christopher Lee, who is magnetic and terrifying at the same time. Great mystery to the very end. Not the 2006 one starring Nick Cage, which on paper, Nick Cage dressed as a bear costume, punching women out. That sounds pretty cool, but don't watch it, trust me. Now, number 8, one of my all-time favorite horror films, Alien, from 1979, directed by the great Ridley Scott, and which, of course, it takes place in the future where this mining ship goes off, and they have to they hit a distress signal, and they pick it up, this strange alien. One of the guys gets infected, they bring the alien back on the ship, and things happen from there. You get a classic, which is basically a haunted house in space with this alien, the xenomorph, one of the great monsters of all time. So yes, that is number 9 and number 8 on our Slaylist for the 1970s.
Hello Jeff and Joanna. This duo brings so much to the table, so let's see what they have in store for us today.
Jeff and Joanna, back again. What are we doing today, baby?
We're doing the 70s horror films.
Yes, coming in at number 7, should be higher, but number 7, Jaws, 1975, Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg took on what is, in my opinion, the greatest, not just horror movie ever, but the greatest movie ever. He was still in his 20s. No script. The shark wouldn't work. This was the first major motion picture filmed in an ocean. Ran long. He thought, well, my career's over. But, I mean, you walk into any store today and merch, satire, more merch, Mr. Hooper, merch. Yeah, I'd say it's not dead.
No, not dead.
Spielberg, just with the power of suggestion and the now iconic to scare audiences right out of their seats. Still holds up. We saw this at the drive-in, what, 2 years ago? Yeah. Everybody was still popping.
It was great.
Yes. Come on. Pip-it! Still holds up after all these years. Yeah, again, not just my favorite horror movie, my favorite movie of all time. And number 6. What do we got?
What do we got? Oh, we got Carrie. Oh my gosh, this movie is amazing. I love Carrie.
The first of Stephen King's books to be made into a movie. And,
the real scary girl was Chris.
yes.
She was the evil one.
She was horrible.
Not Carrie.
She was
I'm
horrible.
Team Carrie all the way. The girl just needed some love.
Amy Irving, who played Sue Snell, the nicer girl, was actually married to Steven Spielberg for a while. You got John Travolta in one of his first major roles. He would later go on to play John Travolta and many other motion pictures. William Catt, the greatest American hero with his great American 70s hair.
Oh, he had some gray hair.
And Miss PJ Souls, who we love. She's always adorable, but not in this. She was mean in this. Sorry, she just wasn't. Her hats were cool.
Her hats were cool.
Very
she
cool.
was a mean girl.
No. And Sissy Spacek, how perfect was she as the title Carrot?
Perfect. She was, you couldn't have.
Does anybody watch this movie and they're not on Team Carrie though?
Please welcome Spooky Thor to the show. Let's see which one of his personalities has shown up today.
Number 5, Suspiria. This is the Dario Argento work that you always hear talked about. Curiosity will always build in your head, like it did for me, and boy, it did not disappoint. The film is about a young woman who goes to this dance academy, this very prestigious dance academy that has a mysterious headmistress that you can't see, and a deputy headmistress, Madame Blanc, played by Joan Bennett in her final film role. You may have also seen her if you're a fan of the old Dark Shadows TV show as Elizabeth Collins' Stoddard among 18 other roles. There's some murders happening, and she uncovers this big old conspiracy that has to do with the old coven of witches. I guess she's gotta figure it out and solve it herself. I mean, where are the Puritans when you actually need them? But this was a very different one for me because, I have my little avenues like my Blair Witches and all that stuff. This one was a little bit of a left turn, but I'm glad I watched it because the movie itself was good, but the visual style was just amazing. As somebody who really loves the color red, the reds in this movie were just which, I know I sound like some sort of wine connoisseur there, but I just love the reds in this movie. I can't say it enough, I love the reds. But yeah, Suspiria, definitely check it out. Oh, you can tell this is the very first one because this is the one where I'm just warming up in. Number 4. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Well, I know you definitely know this one. Birth of an Icon. Leatherface. And it all starts at Leatherface's place with his family. What's the deal with his grandfather? You might feel a little squeamish at it because, you're expecting to see spraying blood all over the place and severed body parts all over and stuff. It's not the gruesome I was expecting. Devil You Know versus the Devil You Don't. Very good movie and just very significant in the timeline of how horror movies have grown, and it was just not what I was expecting because I was probably like you and I was going in thinking they were going to be, watching hacked up limbs and blood everywhere and all that, but no, it was a different sort of thing, and I guess, this is just the theme, at least of my experience of the 70s horror. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, definitely check that out.
Welcome my mother Jessica, the mother of Skellies and the scream queen of the Fall Horsemen.
Hi, I'm Jessica, and I get to give you 2 of the selections from the 70s. Our number 3 movie, The Exorcist, which is one of the first horror movies I ever saw in its entirety, and really grew to appreciate the art of horror movie making. I love the makeup effects in this movie, and I also just love the way the story's crafted. It's so creepy. It really, I feel like the feelings of this movie seep into you. My number 1 favorite horror movie of all time, which is number 2 on our list of 70s movies, Dawn of the Dead, which is an absolute masterpiece. Again, my favorite horror movie of all time. George A. Romero does an amazing job at crafting a great story. The makeup leaves a little something to be desired, but trust me, I really feel like this is an American cinematic masterpiece that is a must-watch for everyone, horror fan or not. And so, highly recommend both of these films. Hope you have a good time watching them. Let me know if you do, what you think of them. Bye!
Boo! It's time for number 1, everybody. Welcome to 1978, welcome to Haddonfield, and welcome John Carpenter's Halloween. Literally, there is nothing I can say about this film that hasn't already been said, hasn't already been documented, hasn't already been turned into a documentary probably, but our number 1 selection here at the Fall Horsemen for the greatest 70s horror film is the one that shaped every horror film after it. Either you were trying to imitate it, or you were trying to not imitate it in Halloween 1978. Number 1, baby. Boom!
Thank you for watching. If you don't mind, please click or tweet. That's where you like, share and subscribe. You can also stalk us on all the social media sites. Thank you for riding with the Fall Horsemen, where Halloween lives and fall is forever.
Alright, welcome to the swinging 70s. No, it's the swinging 60s. That does not even work for this.
Boo! Back! Really? 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 Come on, man.